Hey, what's up? I figured I'd do a video talking about the TED conferences because I listened to all of them. If you go to, I think it's TED.com, TED, stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. Kind of, I don't know, stuff that to me doesn't really sound like it has to do with each other, but it's just lots of people getting up in front of, the conference and talking about these three things. You got like technology people talking about cool new technology and stuff, and designers talking about projects they do. It's usually like people kind of working on projects to like help the world in some way or another. Maybe trying to, I guess it's also kind of a thing where they get together and try to get people to donate to their like foundation, so they can do this project or whatever. And so, yeah, it's pretty entertaining, informative, educational. I listened to all of them. I have MP4 and MP3 of it, but I listened to all of them in MP3 while I was working out at the gym through a couple of days, and so I didn't gain from it as much as I would have if I'd have seen it, because they're like, "Oh, look, I did this and I did that." So yeah, it's interesting. I like to collect, stuff, educational stuff to listen to. Like I got all the Coast to Coast radio because you can download that off the internet. I have, let's see, Mike Hagan. I had a bunch of Laura Lee's, but I had to, it's kind of more difficult to get her stuff because you have to copy it off of like real time, so it takes like an hour and a half to get one. You can't just download it, but I like lost those. I don't know what happened. But anyways, that's good to check out. Maybe I should upload one talking about just her. But TED, uh, yeah, it's cool to check out. You can download them to your computer for free, or watch them. And like the MP4 you can download, not the MP3. I had to transfer it to MP3, but they're not professional speakers. You can tell they're because they're kind of jumbled in what they're talking about. Like they go from talking about how they did this project, and then they did that other thing, and then they come over here, and the kinds of people, they're kind of like plugged in people. Like the guy who started it was like some rich, I think he had like a technology magazine or something that went under because of the economic crisis. So he started this, and like Bill Gates is one of the presenters there, and talking about his vaccinations for kids in the third world, and like lots of really rich people. They like to brag about people who they know, which is kind of funny. The people up there, and they have lots of like foreign people too, like talking about like Africa and trying to help them and stuff. So it's interesting. They are kind of like mainstream people though. It's not like what I'm like used to listening to. Like they're like these people wouldn't talk about aliens. They did have a SETI up there talking about SETI, like, and it was kind of made me laugh because it was like, if there's aliens, maybe we'll see them and hear them. And it's like, dude, what? Haven't you been paying attention? What about all the UFO videos? What about the crop circles? This stuff's glaring you in the face. You don't need SETI. And also, there was another thing that was kind of that was indicative of mainstream culture, which bothers me, and that's that they're always like, they're trying to save the world instead of help the world transition. It's like, oh, us bad people, we've destroyed the planet. We're such a parasitic cancer on the world, and I don't think it's healthy to think of it like that. Whenever there's a change, there's you lose things. Whenever we grow, society and industrialization, plants and animals are going to have to die. It's not something to be like, feel bad about yourself or try to make us feel all bad about everything for it. And that kind of general theme kind of irked me. And they had Stephen Hawking up there talking, and he said all people who see your UFOs are cranks and weirdos. So it's just kind of made me chuckle how people are still closed-minded. They're like, oh, we're hurting the world. Oh, maybe, and then like maybe the possibilities. Woo, but it's like maybe possibilities of the future. Why don't you just listen to the aliens and what they say? I mean, the possibilities are amazing. They're very, very clear on it. Kind of like people talking about transhumanism, but not transhumanism. Trans alchemy, like psychic powers in the future. This kind of crazy stuff. But it's worth listening to. I wouldn't listen to any of them again. Well, actually, some of them are entertainment, like educational. You can listen to some of them. Talk about interesting stuff. This was months ago though when I listened to it, so I don't really remember it. And it was before I listened to it before I stopped making YouTube videos and working out and stuff. Before I got going on my online audio encyclopedia project. But I figured I'd just do the video now, just to let people know about TED, what I think about it. One thing I did realize when I listened to TED though is that I hate. Like listening to people talk sometimes. They had the audio perfect on that, and so you could hear every freaking sound in the people's mouths. And there was like lots of old people who talk, who don't know how to control the mouth sounds. So you'd hear like belching a lot, and you'd hear them going, smacking their lips, and it drove me crazy. I cannot deal with that. So it definitely made me love Natural Reader even more, because a lot of people, they're just not easy to listen to, because there's also like a tone of whininess in some people's voices. Like there was one woman, she sounded like she was on the verge of tears while she was talking the whole time. And old guys, like they've got this like depressed sound to them. And then you got people with like thick accents, and then you have to hear the smacking, and it's just I would rather I mean I really do love listening to Natural Reader with just the computer voice, because it's totally neutral. But that's another video. But yeah, there are people who are very good speakers. A lot they rushed through it really quickly, like, which was good. But I mean, it's funny. Just listen to people. Blah, 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 blah. But TED, yes, and you can go to the website. They have a really good website. They have it divided into all different kinds of themes and stuff, and so it's a good little barometer to test how the mainstream is coming along with creativity and knowledge of the fantastic. So that's what I think about TED conference.